All right. Just waiting for younger people to show up.
Hello? You there? Al? Yeah, I'm in the voice.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, there we go.
Why is the heck is this audio not working?
Mm,
Oh, now I can hear you.
yeah, I was about to say my headset was acting funny.
All
I had
right.
to tamper with it in the settings, but it's back.
Yeah, I don't know why my audio is down so low. All right.
If you need to, you can right click on my sound thing, like where you see me turning green. And then if you go into the middle of that menu that pops up, you'll see user volume. If you turn that up or down, that'll turn up my voice or turn it down if you're having trouble hearing me.
All right. Yeah, I can hear you clearly now. I just had to turn up my PC volume.
All right,
I don't know who else is going to join us because Sanford just popped on to say I'm about to eat dinner. So,
naturally. Uh,
and then Todd's not responding. And Logan, I think's at work. I don't know.
yeah, yeesh.
So I guess for the first stream, it'll just be me and you. So whatever you want to talk about.
All right. I'm sure you
Yeah,
don't want to wait until next weekend, or you're just gonna do the first stream now and then
just gonna do
next
the
week when we'll pick up everyone else.
just gonna do this first stream now, and then next weekend we'll do like a big stream with everyone in it,
Alrighty.
just to get an episode out there.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Um, so I just titled it Podcast One. So,
All right, and it's gonna be on YouTube, I take it.
yeah, on my channel,
All
Alpha
right.
AI. Um, so let me see if it even popped up. It has not popped up yet. Why
Let
the heck?
me go to YouTube and see if I can't find it. I don't know if I have you on
Yeah, I don't
Flipkart
think
on my channel.
you do. Let's see. Search filters. I could have swore I'd done a stream. I'm thinking I'm streaming. Yeah, I'm streaming. So it should be going out there. Let's see, channel. Wow, there's a million Alpha AIs.
Uh, wow.
Okay, yeah, it is streaming. All right. So what do you want to talk about first?
Oh, looks like we got on the list here bowling, uh, uh, politics, and whatever else we can talk about within a means time here.
Yeah, let's see. So Boeing, you want to kick us off with Boeing because I'm not exactly. I know ever than the fact that its doors are popping off and pins weren't being put in properly. I'm not too knowledgeable in Boeing.
Oh, yeah, so bowling, if you didn't know, actually used to, I think it started off in the early 20th century, so I think around the 1900s. And initially, they kind of worked their way up to being one of the best manufacturers in the country. And during the mid 80s, I believe, 1980s, they actually merged with a company. If you're, you might know, you might have heard of them, called McDonnell Douglas. And
Oh,
interest,
the plane crashing company.
yeah, yeah, that one. Boeing thought it was a good idea to take it under their wing, so If you want to know an interesting tidbit, that symbol that you see next to Boeing that looks like a circle with a weird-looking plane going around it. I think that I forgot the true meaning of it, but it was transferred over from Douglas. It was like part of their company's history as to where Douglas used to, I think at one point had like 3 planes that flew around the world at one point or something like that. And it was supposed to represent that. And then after Boeing took over the company, they put a clever little nod to it by putting that symbol into the Boeing symbol. So now, as we've gotten from that point, unfortunately, it has gone downhill ever since they merged with new management coming in and reportedly whistleblowers and people reporting that if they reported any mistakes in their former state before they merged, um, they would actually be taken seriously. But after they merged with Douglas, everything pretty much started to get less quality control and more quantity and pushing everything out, becoming more cheap. People becoming more, or engineers becoming more upset, generally just due to the fact that they no longer care about the quality of their planes and the actual they'll care about the quality as a plane is more care about the actual money that's going to get out. So as we go through the years, we've seen multiple instances where whistleblowers all of a sudden just don't want to wake up anymore, and it's kind of weird that they just don't show up in court. So that's nice. And then of course the doors falling off because having a notem out there saying, "Hey, look out for falling doors" isn't enough. You also have to worry about falling tires, which that's why Boeing got its name too, because Boeing that's what the tire does after it bounces off the runway.
Boing, 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 boing.
And then even in its current state, unfortunately, in recent incidents or, quote unquote recent, within the past 10 years, with the Boeing 77 or the 777 having the MCAS system that they didn't decide to tell pilots about because if they did or if they had to recertify the plane, it would have taken more money, which is why they actually didn't. They said, okay, if we can modify this plane, which they took a 737, and they said, all right, let's make this more efficient without having to build a new platform. So they decided to take that, modernize it more than already should have, and even that thing's been in service for like dozen or at least several different decades at this point. And so they decided to go, yeah, let's modernize that. But to do it, we need to add these bigger engines that are more efficient. Well, to do that, they would have had to lift the plane up, which is inefficient and would cause more issues. So, in doing so, they actually pushed the engine slightly forward, changing the center of gravity. And then they threw in a thing called MCAS, which I forgot I forgot the actual acronym for it. But essentially, all it does is it helps adjust or it helps the computer or helps the pilots automatically adjust to the changes. So to a pilot, it doesn't really change, but to the system, it's just going to do out any extra calculations that would have been had to be done by the engines being moved slightly forward. Well, unfortunately, the pilots didn't have to be warned about this because, like I said before, all they did was just go, okay, well, we're going to slightly modify this just enough to where it's not going to, is going to go under the radar for the FAA to actually certify it as a new plane. So unfortunately, that meant that pilots never received the correct training, and that's when you get incidents, or 2 or 3 incidents, where you get runaway trim, which is where the plane decides to trim itself downward or trim itself in a certain direction, and then you get a plane landing at about 700 or probably about 600 knots into the ground, which I don't know, doesn't seem like a pretty good speed for anyone to be landing at. But
That
hey,
It's a light feather touch landing right there. What are you talking
yeah,
about?
yeah, I wish I could pull landings off like that,
And you land, the passenger gets out of the plane and runs straight up to the captain and says, "I could kiss you right now."
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what they wanted to do, but for some reason they just didn't. We don't hear about much of them anymore, unfortunately. But
Oh,
yeah, they must have went to Canada. They're too friendly.
see,
Don't want to talk about it. They're shy.
they went straight to the center of the earth and are mole people now.
Yeah, actually, their trip was to the center of the Earth. I heard. It was part of Boeing's new campaign. They just didn't tell you. They were like, ah, yes, a trip to the center of the Earth, but is only going to be sending 2 planes, and you have to. We're not going to tell you which one it is. So good luck figuring out which one they're on. Those lucky people. They're probably enjoying the center of the Earth right now. I heard it was a cool 2 billion degrees down there.
This is your captain speaking. We're making an immediate diversion to the center of the earth. Thank you. No, like I know I heard about the whole, well, like even like the text messages and stuff between like Boeing's workers of like, oh hey, I wouldn't fly on a Boeing aircraft, and then all that. And I'm like, oh, that's nice when your own workers are like, yeah, I ain't flying on Boeing.
You don't want to fly on a plane that you created? That come on. That's so confident. That makes me want to go get on a Boeing right now.
That'd be like, someone working for GM being like, I'd never drive a GM vehicle because such and such might happen.
Well, I
Or
mean, they kind of have a right for that. The transmissions are pretty much that's Chrysler. Never mind.
yeah, no, hey, GM may have their problems and Ford may have their problems, but at least they're not a Chrysler.
But what would you let me pose the question? Would you fly on a Boeing? You were jumping on a plane from your hometown and said, "Yeah, I want to fly to Florida," and you figured out that it's a Boeing 777, and you're just like, "Oh, hey, bruv."
See, because I've been on a 737 and I liked it. I've been on a
Hmm.
777. It wasn't
Hmm.
bad, though when I was flying back from where I was at, like I think I told you, I can't remember what it's called, but the little turbine to power the plane while it's at the airport, she broke, and then the couple other things broke.
Hmm.
And at least our pilot the second time had a good landing, but that first time our pilot was like, "Where's the ground?" Found it by feel. Like he slammed that
That's what
plane into the ground.
that's what we like to call cratering the runway. It's a nice way to break it in.
He
Also
did,
break in the plane too.
well, he definitely got that plane broken, and I will say that. I think after that
Very
little
efficiently.
that suspension on those runway, on those landing gear definitely had about 10,000 landings after that one.
That's just a good way to make sure that your suspension is working. I mean, you paid for the full suspension, so why don't you use it?
Well, close random, if you're we'll be riding along with you first class. FT here will be the pilot, the plane. I'm going to be your air steward, walking around, handing out fiery peanuts.
Now, if you look to our left, you'll see a nice building off the side of our window. That is part of Cleveland. Oh wait, no, that's New York. Hey,
Uh,
where are we at? Hey, don't worry about what I said. Just to pay attention to the fiery peanuts. Is that North Korea?
oh man. So well, going from Boeing, I guess we can talk about Mopar right now, if you want to.
Question?
So Dodge, Mo is owned by is basically Mopar, so Chrysler Corp. And since 1994, Chrysler Corp has not been American. They were bought by Daimler in 1994, which is a German company. Um, and then they were bought by Fiat in 2014, which is an Italian company. And
Oh yeah.
both of those were like, hey, we're going to keep it cool. And even Fiat was like, you know what would be awesome? Let's take
Hmm.
a V8 Hellcat engine and throw it into a minivan. An engine that's getting 1,000 foot-pounds of torque and probably the same amount of horsepower, at least 500 horsepower. Let's throw that into a minivan. Make that an engine option.
Well, I
And
mean, come on. When you got to get your kids to soccer practice, you got to go. And I think that fits all the moms out there who just really need to get that power in to get their kids there.
oh man, all right. Well, you soccer moms read this and weep. I'm gonna do a burnout as my kiddies leave the soccer game, even though we lost. You can eat my dust.
Well, if little Timmy isn't flying up against the back window after you said put your seatbelt on, you're not doing it right. There's not enough horsepower in your minivan to take him to soccer practice.
Audrey had to make better windows so you wouldn't fly out of them. During the sudden stops and sudden accelerations. Scab it.
Listen, if you need to get to a place from A to B and you need to do it without realizing that you're going nearly over 100 miles per hour while also your kids are throwing juice boxes, then I don't think you're driving the right kind of minivan. You're not having fun.
Yeah, so anyways,
Also, those speed bumps around the playground are not related anyway to that 1,000 horsepower minivan that just passed by.
you say speed bumps, I say launch pads. But so anyways, going on from this, so they were both like, hey, let's keep the V8 alive. And I think 2021, Stellantis, which is a French company headquartered in the Netherlands, says nothing, especially nothing to do with America, but Fiat Chrysler Corp. So
Good
they own
lord.
both Fiat and Chrysler now. And then whoever else Fiat owned. But for about a couple
Don't they own
years,
Maserati now?
I'm sure if Fiat owned Maserati, they probably do. Um, Chris Random might know on
Mm.
that section of the stream. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, he's someone I work with, so he's never
Ah,
mechanic, so he'd probably know. But anyways, they're like, hey, you know what'd be awesome? Everybody loves
what's
the
that?
V8 engine. Everyone loves the
Hmm.
Hellcat engine. No, very rare do people buy, uh, you know, cars with V6s. No, no, no. They all want it with V6s, inline sixes. Let's bring back the inline six. Because
Hmm.
when you think of Dodge, when you think of high horsepower, you don't think of a Hellcat V8 putting out 1,000 foot-pounds of torque. You think of an inline six that puts out 400 horsepower
Yeah.
with
Real
maybe
man stuff right there.
or you can get a high output version with 500 horsepower. So, and they're also twin turbocharged too. Don't,
Ooh.
so it's a twin turbocharged inline six, which maybe it's a 3.0 liter. Um, but it's going to go into Dodge and all that. Basically it's replacing the Hemi pretty much.
Dang.
So you
Looks
can,
like I know which company to dodge then.
yeah, yeah. So, they're going to inline six, and there's a couple reasons, but the main one that Stellantis has put out about it that I've seen so far is for efficiency and emissions. That's the main reasons emissions. Because don't get me wrong, the Hellcat's a pretty powerful engine, but that does put out
Well,
a
just
lot
a
of
wee bit.
emissions. Yeah, it does put
I
out
don't
a
know.
lot
I
of
think it's
emissions.
I think it's a little bit underpowered if you ask me, you know.
Yeah.
I think it needs just to tweak a bit more.
Well,
You know, I got to
yeah.
make sure I go careening into the crowd and make sure people know that I was going wheel spinning faster than I could control obviously I was just making sure that everyone was okay. I just want to check on them.
Now, see, you got the wrong thing. Mustangs are what goes in the crowds. Dodge Chargers, they don't like hitting little tiny subjects. They like going up against things they can't beat, like trains or trucks, you know, or airplanes. Maybe the Dodge is out there on the airplane looking for its V8. Got lost.
Yes, go get on the runway. I dare you to. I like to see you chase down. I'd like to see you chase down my next flight.
This is a time. Why is there a Dodge Charger on the runway? That's the ground crew. It's looking for its missing V8. Get a turbo engine put in there.
Oh man, didn't Chrysler, was it Chrysler who put the turbine engine in the car in like 1978 or something like
Yeah,
that?
Chrysler back in the 60s and 70s came out with a turbine engine. And it was really good. Like the main reason why, so back in the 50s, 60s, 70s,
Yeah,
Chrysler actually had a division making intercontinental ballistic missiles for the US military. So,
naturally. You know that
yeah,
company that you ferry your whole crew and the whole family. You know, little Timmy's in the back drinking a juice box. Father's up front wife's in the side knitting, little
Yeah,
sister's throwing something out the window. Obviously, it's just having that company, knowing that they make a nice, comfortable, family-like intercontinental ballistic missile.
yes. Well, the
Lovely.
part you forgot about that is the father sitting in the front, downing whatever illegal substance he can get his hands on. Uh, he's doing that, and at the same time, he's like, you know what? I'm an engineer for Chrysler Corp. What if we took a big giant jet engine and threw it into the back of car? Which they did, and I mean,
That thing was
so
sexy.
well, it is a nice looking car, and like the main reason why it never caught on is I think only like 10 were built. Is and this is just a thing with jet turbine engines, not so much Chryslers. Is turbine engines are only like fuel efficient at high RPM. Like you got to have them as high as they'll go. Anything below that, and they're basically chugging. They're
Oh yeah,
chugging.
yeah.
They're chugging more than the drunkard at the bar.
Oh
So
yeah, yeah. About to say it. They're not going super fast. They're about to go beat their Remy nut. Yeah, obviously, like you said, they're chugging at some junk at the bar. Definitely was going to say anything controversial.
but because like back in the 30s, a thing that came out were turbine trains, actually turbine trains, because
Really?
back in the 30s, 40s, and 50s, you could get if you're a locomotive railway, you could buy a steam engine, an electric engine, a diesel
Yeah.
engine, or a engine that ran, or a turbine engine that ran on bunker seat oil. There were also steam turbine engines that basically used a boiler to generate steam. They were basically steam
And
electric.
turns the turbine. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But the turbine engines, I mean, they were really like popular because the whole thing was turbines, when they're fuel efficient, are way more fuel efficient than a regular piston engine. That's fact. You're never going to dispute that. The problem is they got to be at full RPM all the time. And the way they did the turbine engines for the trains and for the car was, instead of having the turbine being like a jet where the exhaust is what powers it forward, they had it hooked up to drivetrains and stuff. I think Chrysler might have had it exhaust, but the trains had it hooked up to, basically a drivetrain. It was just basically an engine powering a transmission that was turning wheels. And that's all cool and all. But again, you need a high power. And unfortunately, on rails, there ain't very many places that you can go wham and go flying down the track. So they were never at full RPM hardly, and because of that, they had a lot of vibration. They
Mhm.
basically needed high maintenance. Parts were way more expensive than an internal combustion engine. And if you left one of these, the exhaust coming out of these, because the exhaust had to be vented out for the top, like it is
Yeah.
still, but it had to be vented out for the top. If you parked one underneath a road bridge and left
Hmm.
it, the exhaust was so hot it would melt the asphalt on the bridge.
Well, I mean, that's just straight up effectivity. If you need to remove some asphalt under a bridge and you just happen to have a nice diesel or a nice turbine electric train that just happens to be sitting around, I think you just throw it under. But I mean, wait, couldn't in the trains, couldn't you essentially just always have it run high RPM almost and just kind of like use the power like almost like not mag dump, good lord. Uh what is it called? Clutch dump it almost.
Probably
So you kind of
could.
always have it like that, and then I mean, sure, you might burn through a few good clutches, but I mean, if you think about it, you can just have it run at a high RPM, and then when you need that power, you just have it go through like a long gear train or something that automatically converts it. So every time you want to use it, you just change gears to a higher aspect or higher lower, however that works. And you should just be able to, in theory, obviously, keep it up at a high RPM while not having to lose as much power, lose as much fuel.
So, and I'll put it to you like, if you go over to Europe, there's some trains over there actually are geared locomotives.
Yeah.
Historically they're geared. And by
Yeah.
geared, I don't mean geared as in they actually had gears, like a transmission, you shift gears and all that.
Yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
we had drivetrains and stuff, and the main problem we found with ours is, so in Europe they don't run, like they run some decently long trains, but they don't run anything close to what we run. We run like 3 mile long trains, 2 mile now. it was used to be 2 mile long. And the main problem with our locomotives was when they had the drive shafts would split and, transmissions wore out. Basically, it was not very good. So the modern trains you see out now since like the 70s to now are all diesel electrics or steam
Hmm.
because steam, the way steam's built, it doesn't have that drive shaft problem. But, diesel electric, they came up with it because like even if say you look at like the big giant dump trucks,
Oh yeah, yeah.
those are diesel electric too.
But don't like the but isn't steam just powering a turbine at the end of the day? Like if you think
Um,
about it, all we're using is using the steam to turn like a giant wheel. Just we're just doing it in a different way now.
Kinda. So steam engines, the way they work is you got pistons at the front. And this is also why like a gas engine is called an internal combustion engine.
Hmm.
Um, oh, first random said cost is what killed the turbine for Chrysler, so we got that answer. But so the way steam works is you have steam go in one piston and it pushes it
Yeah.
back. It goes for one valve, and then the valve switches and comes out for another line and pushes it forward, and it does that back and forth. Which is
So
all
like kind of like they did like in the early shipbuilding days with steam
yeah,
engines.
steam worked like that. So, but then it would to the boiler, and the main problem with that is you had to have a fire running and burning whatever, and I mean it
Well,
depended
yeah,
on
yeah.
how big the steam engine was and how it was
Hmm.
designed determined how efficient it was. Like a bigger, like ships are super efficient, but they're also designed in a different way. So like
Yeah,
steamships,
I mean they
yeah,
pretty much have the size of like the
yeah,
Continental Hotel just sitting there. They'd be like,
yeah,
yeah, let's just take like a whole engine that's about the like 5 or 6 stories, and let's put it in this space. They have the space to do that,
yeah.
which is
So,
kind of nuts.
but they do that. But like, I think it's the ship I sent you the horn of that I really like on the lakes is Barker Bark or
Hmm.
Gerald R. Barker, whatever the name is now. I've already forgotten it, but they call it the Barker Bark, the horn. But that ship is steam, and like the bigger a ship gets, the more efficient its steam engine gets, just because of
Okay.
the way it's running. So like now they use steam turbines now, but back in like Titanic days, what they would do is they'd use expansion engines because the first steam engine was basically like a railroad steam engine of it went in one cylinder, moved it, went back to the boiler, went back. But someone at some point in time was like, you know what? When that steam gets back to the boiler, it's still got, steam in it. It's still steam, it's still got energy. What if
Yeah.
instead of just sending it straight back to the boiler, we put it for another um steam engine. So then the single expansion steam engine was born, where then it
Oh,
would
so
go,
like they used on stuff like the Atlantic and Lusitania.
yeah, and that's and I think the biggest they got was quadruple expansion, which is basically like a five. Like a lot of late ships would use quadruple expansion steam engines, and I mean these work
Mhm.
great. The main problem with the steam engine is like if you put five individual pistons and then had
Oh, it's
five
gonna lose all
boilers,
that steam as it
yeah,
went all the way down.
yeah, it'd lose power. But like if you had like five individual pistons powered by like five boilers and they, all efficiency, that would put out
Yeah.
more power than having a quadruple. But the benefit to a quadruple was it was easier to build because it took up less space than five individual engines,
Well,
and
yeah, yeah.
they were cheaper to run because instead of having to have, like five different sets of boilers for each engine, you could have rows of boilers for that expansion engine. Now, the way they got around this in like steam engines for like
Hmm.
ocean liners was they would instead of having just one quadruple expansion engine or one triple expansion engine, they would put in two, three, four triple expansion engines. So then they'd all work in tandem to power the props. And in this day and age, in that day and age, the engines attached directly to a shaft and would power a propeller. So like I think Titanic had like three of them for the propellers. I want to say,
I had three. Yeah, like I think it was three.
yeah, but so that got more power. But then like some ships they would only have one, like cargo ships. You weren't concerned about getting, ocean ships were concerned about getting across the ocean. You got that long distance. You want speed. You want power. Lake ships,
Oh
they
yeah.
weren't concerned about going as far, so they wanted efficiency over power. So they just put in one expansion engine. And I mean, it worked forever until they went to the steam turbine, which is even, it gets about the same amount of power as an expansion engine, but it's even cheaper to operate than an expansion engine.
Yeah,
Um,
more less moving parts.
and then what they would do then after that was you'd put a turbine engine instead of a turbine engine. Some of them directly spun a shaft, but the way majority of them went was it spun a shaft that attached to a generator, which generate electricity to power motors that were attached to the propellers. And this was preferable because it's less maintenance than having a big giant shaft go into the ship, stern of the ship. Because then instead of having to replace this big huge shaft, we can just replace, you know, smaller, just replace motors and stuff.
Mm. Alright, what, you don't want a shaft fracture halfway through the ocean voyage?
Oh yeah, everyone loves that when that happens. Everyone loves when they're in the Lander Doria getting hit by another ship and sinking. And I mean, luckily in that one, only I think like one person died because I can't remember which ship showed up with the rescue. It was a French ship. Um,
Wait, is that the one with like the French fishing boat and the American paddle steamer?
no, 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 that was a different that was a
Oh,
different one. No, so this was a ocean liner and it was a cargo ship. Um,
yeah.
they hit the cargo ship, and so what happened? So let's see. Yeah, so they hit a cargo ship. Like I think it was back in the 60s or 50s.
Oh, so
Yeah,
this was like more recently.
yeah,
Well,
1956.
relatively speaking.
So she literally served for 3 years. She was launched in 1951, put in service in 1953, and then sunk in 1956.
What a great track record. That's how you know it was a great ship. It was so
Um,
good that they had to get rid of it.
but basically, she hit the cargo ship. I can't think of the name of the cargo ship right now, but
Hmm.
the front ship. Let's see if I can find it. A French ship showed up. It was the SS. I think SS Ile de France or Ile de
Oh,
France was the name of the
oh,
ship.
that's a very creative name of the French.
But basically, so what happened with this one was the guy who was the captain of the ship at the time. Um, he had to go across to the ocean line and all that. And there's an unwritten rule to sea. And the unwritten rule to sea is if there's another ship in trouble, you don't leave them behind. You go and rescue them. Like if you're out there and another ship says, Mayday, I'm sinking, you show up,
Yeah.
you rescue that ship. That is the rule. And so he is in port, about to leave, go to Britain. And his company's saying, go to Britain, don't divert anywhere. Coal is expensive. And he's like, okay, or oil is expensive. He's like, okay. And as soon as he's about ready to depart, he gets this radio signal from the Android Doria of, hey, we just struck another ship. At first they thought they were fine. They're sinking. They're like, hey, we get in the lifeboats. We don't know how long we're gonna make it. We need rescue. And it was him and another ship showed up. And he put all the ships, all the steam to it. He said, full steam ahead, get to there. And he actually says my favorite quote of any captain that showed up
What's
to rescue a
that?
ship. My favorite quote is when he shows up, he tells the bridge crew, turn on the lights, all the lights, let him know we're here. And I'm like, oh, that's an awesome quote just to be like, yeah, you know what? We showed up, turned every light. Like, I mean every light. They turned on the ship's name light on the sea
Hmm.
and everything. And like, there are even people talking about like, as soon as they seen the name Ile de France, they were like, oh my goodness, we're safe.
They're like, listen here, we are turning on every single light on this ship, and we are being seen. We are here to save you.
Yeah, and I think there was another ship that showed up, a couple other ships, but they were too small to take on everyone and the Androidoria, so they could only take on so many people for they had to leave. But the Ile de France was so big, it could take on all the rest of the people. And so what they did is they lowered all the lifeboats they had into the water to go over to
Yeah.
Androidoria and rescue them. And the Androidoria, the interesting thing is, I think it was only one person died, maybe it was a couple more, but the only people that died in the sinking of the Androidoria died during the collision because what happened was I think she was sailing in a thick fog during the night,
Yeah.
and there was a cargo ship that was also sailing, and the cargo ship was going faster. And the cargo ship hit the android dory in the bow, and its bow had actually went in to the ship and hit some passengers that are in their cabin, killing one of them.
Hmm.
And somehow miraculously in this cabin, the baby that was with the passengers survived.
Yeah.
But I think the mom didn't. But
Oh.
that happened. And at first they were like, "Hey, we don't think we're sinking. Our hole's above the water line."
Yeah.
Uh, and the cargo ship didn't have really any damage, or I think it was a tanker. But so at first they were like, "We're fine," and then they started realizing, "Oh no, our ship's listing. We are sinking." And when one of the crew
It's
members,
always it's always like one of those kind of situations with ships. It's like, I think we're just about fine. We got hit on like the upper decks.
yeah,
Sir, yes. We've been hit over. The ship is splitting in half. What do you mean? Someone just dropped a pencil on deck. Yeah, that turns out that pencil was made out of fine titanium depleted uranium graphite that actually went all the way through the ship. That just happened to fall off the other ship that ran into us. Wait, another ship ran into us? Yeah, about that.
yeah. So but that's what happened. So luckily they all made it, and I mean the shipwreck's like under 500 feet of water, and a lot of
Oh.
people. And it's actually just like the Titanic. It's claimed
Hmm.
more people that scuba dive to it than it actually claimed. Well, not just like Titanic, but most of the people that died on the Andrea Doria died scuba
Yeah.
diving down to it than the actual
Hmm.
people that are on the ship tonight to sink. Um,
That's something. Just get a kill streak. Like, all right, and the kill streak for this is why is wait wasn't that didn't that say like 10 people the last time?
yeah.
Why does it say 11? So we got like someone who scuba dive. So that counts as a casualty for the ship. Yeah. Well, okay then.
Well, it's like all stupid stuff of like people not having the proper mixture of oxygen and ever gases, or people getting stuck on tables in the shipwreck, or even people going down there and not having enough oxygen, thinking they have enough and they
And just
stay
like
for too long. Yeah.
and
Um.
like cutting their oxygen line by accident or something. Yeah, snagging. That's all rough. I mean, you think by the time you go down there and actually get that deep to the point where you have to, take decompression stops on the way back up, you'd be pretty experienced. But I guess there can be mistakes that are made, and everyone makes them. It's just unfortunate to see it happen and then see someone die for it.
Yeah. So, well, Chris Random's saying more stuff, and I have to read it. And we
Is
moved on to a completely different topic. Sorry, Chris. Oh man,
it
no.
doing is it doing the lag thing where it's like a 10-second delay?
Well, I think so. Like whatever we say, he hears later.
Oh
So,
yeah, and then it
which
takes longer to actually type it.
I think it's a whole the YouTube thing, just YouTube, because I've noticed it's just a streaming. It's just like that, no matter what you're doing. Um,
That makes sense.
which I mean, it probably is like it's recording audio. Something's probably listening to be like, oh hey, they said something bad. Let's dump it. Because like on like radio shows, what they'll do is they'll have a delay of like 45 seconds. Like whatever you hear on the radio, that's like live happened 45 seconds ago. And
Oh, yeah, that
that's
lag delay.
yeah, so like that way, say someone gets on the radio and says like the F word or something like that, they can hit the dump button and get it out of the audio before it's an FCC violation. Because that's totally
Oh
fun
yeah.
having a FCC breathing down your back.
I'm about to say, that almost what doesn't that happen on Bub's stream? Yeah, Bub for 140 run. If you haven't seen the channel, I think you should go check that one out. Don't you think?
Yeah, no, it happens. It's uh, uh, it happens all the time.
I mean, it doesn't cause any harm. It's just like saying it's like, oh yeah, looks like that person was just about going into that building over there. Oh wow, they ran into it. Here, let me type something about that. Ha ha, that person ran into a building. And then oh, don't worry, that short delay. Wait, why did that person type that when a plane just ran into a building? Wait, what? Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, listen, I typed it before that happened.
Oh man.
I
See, well,
swear she was 17.
to be fair, I mean, like, only three people are watching, and I know one of them's mine and me, and one of them's probably you, and one of them's Chris Random.
Actually, I haven't found the channel yet.
Oh, so then it's someone else watching. I'll send you a link if you're curious.
Yeah.
'Cause it's like, man, like, I already know, like, no one's little. I don't even know who that third person watching is. Like, no one else has commented on here to be like, hey, it's me. I'm wondering if someone else has sent the link to.
What? Maybe they're interested in hearing what we have to say.
Maybe. Well, what the uneducated expert, or no, what was it, inexperienced experts have to say?
Hey, listen, we are very inexperienced in our expertise here. We know what we're not talking about, okay?
We're the most inexperienced experts. We just pull out of this stuff out of a bag, and a hat, and a car,
Yeah.
and a dumpster.
Honestly,
Oh, I
honestly,
got
we're just hoping that we find something in the dictionary at this point and just hope it works.
it ain't even our dumpster. It's just some dumpster that dropped out of a 747.
That dropped out of a seven. Yeah, that's just the waste bin that they had in the back of the plane.
I was
That those
wondering.
just happened to it happened after the door flew out,
I,
obviously.
I was wondering why that door was sitting there.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was a little bit weird. That just happened to randomly show up there. I just thought it was just growing out of the ground. I thought the doors this season. I thought it was door season.
Yeah,
I thought we had an adoring fan.
it's door season. Let's all go get doors.
Yep.
Got the officer comes walking by. Do you have your door tag?
Uh, what door tag, officer?
You need to get that out of your car, sir. Get that out of your car.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me open my door here. All right. Yeah. So, about that. So, I don't have a door tag. Sorry. I'll have to go through my other door to go get the door tag if that's okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Let me just All right. Cool. Gosh dang. You see, I left it on my other door, which I left at home in the air, but it's on a Boeing, so it could come out of somewhere around here. You know that. It just drops in sometimes.
What the heck was this? No, okay, that's activities. That's what that is. I'm trying to figure out where is this? Where is
So what do
this?
you so what do you call a small door?
What do I call a small door?
Yep. Adorable. That was perfectly timed. Do you mean to do that?
No,
Dude,
I
that was
did.
perfectly timed.
I did.
Maybe we are inexperienced.
Oh, wait.
Oh my gosh.
I just.
Sir, we are supposed to keep this podcast very serious.
This is a serious streaming environment. Do not joke around. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, as soon as I find how to do the sounds, I turn into a kid.
Great. We're about to have the other half of the stream is just gonna be sound effects after someone says a joke.
Yep, what the heck? Uh, uh,
Hello, this is your captain speaking.
Daddy, chill.
What the freak was that? Ow, 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 buddy. Listen, we're gonna need you to relax with the sound effects, okay?
uh,
We're gonna need you to keep it. Stop playing that sound effect.
I'm not funny anymore.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, what's this one? It just says help.
Help.
Help!
Oh, good lord. I'm
Oh
still
man.
watching it on. I was watching it on the stream, and that it's still a delay. So I was like, "What?
He's pulling his cock out!
Uh,
Oh, I get this. Oh no.
that's bad.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Just a little bit. It wasn't even a joke.
What were we even talking about? I already forgot.
Well, we were talking about trains and how they were turbine powered, and then we just turned off into ships. Had a pretty stable segment about that, and then after that, we start talking about doors, and now we are here, which is somewhere.
All right. Let's see. What the heck do we want to talk about? Oh, you know what? This is a topic we didn't look up too much about, but I'm sure we've heard enough about it to be inexperienced when talking about it.
Oh
The
boy,
Titan sub.
the Titan sub. Which one is that?
So, 5 billionaires walk into a sub.
Oh, I heard they had a can of Crush on there. Well, I mean, hey, if they had a can of Crush on there, this wouldn't have happened, okay? Well, actually, if they didn't, so if they didn't get thirsty and bring a can of Crush on there, this wouldn't have happened, okay?
Yeah, no, see, what really, what they should have done instead is they should have thrown a nickel into the ocean and made a wish.
Oh, made a wish.
Made a wish that they wouldn't become part of Titanic Ghost Crew. Because
Yep.
that's going to be what it's going to be now when like someone goes and finds like ghosts on the Titanic. It's going to be like, why is there 5 billionaires in Stockton Rush here?
No, it's not. No, they're gonna look up the Titanic def they're gonna look up the Titanic def graph, and it's just gonna be like 1812. Wait, it's sunk in 1812, right? I believe it was. Yeah. Okay. 1812. All right. High def rate spike, and then just from 1812 to like 2022. Oh,
Sure,
five more
hey,
deaths.
we need to get your head checked, man.
Need to get what?
It's sank in 1912.
Yeah, I said 1912.
Sure you did, buddy. Sure
I
you
did.
did.
Look, clip it. Somebody clip it.
Hey, Chris Random or whoever else is
Hey,
watching this, please
yeah,
so I can turn it
clip
into
it.
an
All right.
audio for next time we do a stream. I can
Uh-huh.
put that on
I
there and be
said
like,
18.
hey,
What do you think I said? What do you think I said?
1812.
18. Okay, I might have said. Okay, listen. We can talk about this, okay? I might have mixed one number up, but that doesn't change the fact that that doesn't change the fact that I was mostly correct.
Hey, you had these guys sinking to the house building song and not sinking to whatever was popular in 1912. We'll
Hey,
just,
listen. I made a small mistake, don't you? You don't have to rub it in. They don't have to know.
you all know who else made a small mistake?
Oh, really? Who made a
Stock,
small mistake?
Stockton Rush.
I'm sorry, who?
Stockton Rush, he forgot a zero in the stress ratio.
I am not from. I am unfamiliar with him.
And then they went down to the Titanic and they became the
Oh,
Threshers.
they became the Threshers. Hmm.
They
Chris Redham says you already crushed. You say you could say the Titan Crew crushed it. Yeah, I like this guy. I like this guy.
yes, yes, this guy is awesome. You'd like this guy. Maybe someday you'll meet this guy.
Maybe so.
You'll meet the random guy.
I'm just gonna fly back up there and be like, hey, I'm here to meet this guy. My friend Al here said that He's pretty funny.
Yeah, that's the thing I was talking. It's like with like Discord, somehow my nickname became Al. Excuse me. It's like, yeah.
You can call me Alan if you can call me Al. Dun,
Oh,
dun, 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 dun.
oh man. Oh, this is awesome. This could be
Let's
even
go
more.
for two.
Could you
Hmm?
imagine how chaotic this would be if we had what the heck is he going by now? Not
Uh,
Polygon. Is it Fire Phoenix or
Mi-
something?
Mitsuki?
Yeah. I think he's going by like Phoenix something.
Oh, right. Yeah,
If
I
we
think he
had
sent me in Japanese at one point.
yeah, if we had him here right now and then Bub and then Legendary would be awesome.
Yeah, I think
Uh
that would be absolute chaos because we always know what happens when we're all in the same room, or at least all on the same call.
yeah. Nah, well, I know it'd be chaos, and that's why I'm like, it would be awesome because it'd be
Oh yeah, it's not in the bad
chaos.
way, obviously.
Like, when we all get together for like anything, even when we're not streaming, it's just chaos. Like, I love it
We might
how,
have to invite Flashpoint 1114 here. I think
oh,
that would add on to it all.
I would have no problems with inviting them here though, because it'd get even more. I like how when we're at the restaurant, I'm just staring at him, and he's like, "I feel like I did something wrong. Why are you staring at me?"
He's just a little bit intro extroverted, as I like to call it. You know, he claims to be introverted, but he's absolutely capping, as the young people would say nowadays. He's
Us,
English or Spanish,
uh,
yo.
he, man, y'all, y'all.
Don't worry, I am sticking out my gat for the Mew streak. Nailed it. Yeah. High
W
key. Let's go.
W Riz. We just made
Oh
a
my
million
gosh.
people cringe.
That was bussin'.
The Bussin I think existed way before that. Man, I'm gonna have to create a whole new uh folder now to put these in, man.
Folder.
Yeah, well, like
Al, we're getting old. We're getting old. We have to actually keep track of what words are coming out now.
I don't even know. Like, I don't even know what like our generation even uses word wise. I'm like, man, like I literally when you're raised by boomer parents, you pick up boomer language, and I'm like, I don't even know what emojis are appropriate to use. FG, when I'm texting
Mm.
someone and someone sends me an emoji, I'm like, what does this mean? This is random generation emojis.
Quickly, chat, start sending a bunch of emojis.
Oh man,
Oh, he's not looking.
oh, man, I don't think like everyone else, like everyone I said to was like, we'll listen later. Which, oh man, I'm thinking some of these I'm gonna try to record and try to edit and do whatever. 'Cause I
I mean,
mean,
I think doesn't doesn't YouTube automatically record? So like once you're done, then you can just watch it right
yeah,
after.
yeah, I think though I'm gonna try to do some like recording instead of doing live, where like we just record it and then that way I can edit it. Like if we do like, because I'm thinking of doing some reaction videos or something that we do, and I don't mean like reaction like let's react to the B movie. I mean like okay, try not to laugh challenge.
Right. That would be absolute chaos if we got everybody in here. You know that would be the moment when sound test, if you remember that, would
Oh
become an
man.
absolute. You would have to put a sound warning on the beginning, like that 5 minute segment before the stream starts. Sound warning. We haven't started the stream yet, but we already know we're probably going to blow out your earphones. So keep it at least two, like out of 100. Just keep it at two. That's probably too loud, but
So you want to
hey,
know funny thing about that whole like what you just said?
okay.
Um, so like according to everyone, I am the ear rape issue in our streams.
Oh, really?
According to people that watch, everyone I've heard, they're like, "You're the ear rape." Because apparently, which
Nah.
I know, and I know I can get crazy. Like when I get energetic, I can get crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But it's funny, like normally out in public, it's like whenever we go sit down at a restaurant, not as much anymore. But I remember being like, "All right, guys, maybe this is not the best place to have that conversation." To like when Legendary Skittles and all them were talking about certain stuff, and people are looking over. It's like, "Oh yeah, let's go ahead and tell all the people in the restaurant about what just happened."
What?
What?
We shouldn't bring the AK what into the building right now? No, of course I don't. No, the Glock of cheese, the block of cheese, the one that like makes things go really fast and that give people medals, like golden Olympic medals, with the Glock of cheese and the AK. AK. Okay. Don't worry. We were just wait. Why are you reaching into your bag? What's that black thing you're pulling? Oh, you're pulling out your phone. Guys, relax, relax. He's doing what? You're gonna shoot us? You're gonna shoot? Oh, with the camera. Oh, okay. He's gonna shoot us with the camera. Okay. Click. Wait. Why did you click? Oh, the camera, dude. Relax. Okay. Hey guys, I just got this brand new blicky. Whoa!
Thanks for the glizzy.
Whoa! Slow down there, partner. We all know what that means.
What the heck am I? Oh man, what the heck am I thinking?
Hmm.
Yeah, I am. Uh, I'm lost in thought.
Ooh, he's lost in thought. Will he find his thought, or will he be lost in thought?
I'm extremely lost in thought.
Well, when you're ow. Well, you never realize how much time flies until you're flying with it.
Yeah, no, like
Got that once when I was flying a longboard. I mean, when I was riding a longboard, and you go flying off it, and then you're just flying, and you're
yeah.
flying with time, all right, until you hit the ground, and well, all of a sudden you landed.
Well, it's like that time I was on the mower and I hit a tree root going 76 miles per hour with my rocket boosters in the back.
Oh yeah,
And then,
naturally, the
you
Rocket League
know,
edition.
yeah, and I was just going 37 like the acres across the sky. And I was just looking down at Earth as I was reaching escape velocity and just thinking, man, it's been 2 seconds.
It's been
And then I woke
2
up.
seconds.
And then I woke up. And then I woke up and I had a drink of my water. It said, it's been 2 seconds. Once it was,
Buddy, buddy, what kind of water you've been drinking? You haven't been to Flint, Michigan, have you?
hey, every minute 60 seconds passes in Africa.
Oh, oh, wait, really? No, I didn't know that actually. Holy crap, bruh! I've been thinking it's been 72 hours, dude.
Oh, man. So, just questions. I'm not sure. How's my
Hmm.
mic quality right now?
Oh, sounds fine. Sounds fine.
All right, cool. Because I'm like, I got this mic, the Blue Snowball, believe it or not.
Hmm.
And I was like, yeah, because I'm like, I don't want to put in $100 or whatever it was for a Yeti.
Oh yeah, that's fair. That's fair. About to say, I'm just using my headset mic right now.
Yeah, well, yours don't sound bad. Like my headset mic I had before sounded like I was consuming my mic. Um, Actually, this is a question that's going to sound out of the blue. When I get a better PC, would
Hmm.
you be down to play Microsoft Flight Simulator?
If you got it, I
If
would probably get.
All right, if I got, that's why I'm saying like when I get a better PC and I get it, would you be down to play it?
Yeah, I would.
We're gonna, not saying anything, just might fly a
Mm.
100 feet in a 1,000 foot
Mm.
altitude limit somewhere
Mm.
undisclosed in New
Mm.
York
In New York. It
in
wouldn't
mine
happen to be the city, right?
in Minecraft.
Oh, in Minecraft, obviously.
In Minecraft. It's obviously going to happen in Minecraft.
Mm-hmm. Don't know why I didn't even have to question it. There wouldn't happen to
man.
be any buildings that look the same, right?
Oh, no. It's just going to be a skyline from 1999.
Oh, okay, cool. That's a skyline. Wait, a skyline, you say? That's weird that you're talking about a building during flight. Do you plan on landing on it? No way.
Yeah,
I heard they got a new helipad on it.
we're going to try to land a 777 on the helipad
Oh,
on the building.
naturally, and
You know.
I heard that I heard we could crash at their place, so it's fine. That's what they said. That's what said in the invitation. They said, "Hey, come on. I know you don't. I know your airport's really mad at you right now. So if you want to, you can just crash at our place. You know, it's a valid invitation." In Minecraft.
So I'm gonna get a capture card next time we play War Thunder, if we do play War Thunder.
Hmm.
So that way I can like record it if everyone's fine with that. And just be like, cool.
I'm sure Jaeger and I don't know if I mean I saw him play a while ago, but Jaeger and me still play. Like
Alright.
we just got back into it, but he's currently in Tennessee now.
Okay. Well, if you um what am I thinking of? Yeah,
Mhm.
I'll have to give you my Xbox account information, all that, for playing on Xbox, because the Xbox is a bit better than a PlayStation. I
All
like
right.
it better.
I think. All right, because it's two different accounts. All right.
Yeah, that's why. That's the only
Not say
reason
I
why.
don't. I don't think you would have lost too much progress too, because you were only on the biplanes by the time we
Yeah.
left off.
No, I wasn't even up there. Like it literally what happened was like one match right after that first night I played. I played
Yeah.
another match and like I was telling Chris Random about this. I was like miles away from the battlefield
Yeah.
and this Japanese hero, whatever the heck it was, is like sniping me from like all the way across the map. Like I would literally just spawn in and then like pilot dead. Spawn in,
Mm.
pilot dead. Spawn in, pilot dead. And I just got the entire match and I was like, I rage quit. Because you know how I can get when I rage.
Welcome to War Thunder, buddy,
Yeah.
where you can have about one good game per 30 bad games. That one good game, you'll get a kill and be like, I feel great about myself. And then you'll go play 29 other games to where you spend about a good 45 minutes going into battle, scrolling your phone, and then only get to kill by someone who climbed to like 3 to 30,000 feet within 4 seconds in a BF 109 or a Falcon Wolf 190, and you get your wing clipped off and you're sent back to the garage going, oh boy, that was fun. I think I can do it
It's
again.
so like I'm gonna be honest, I like Roto Warships too. If you guys ever do Roto Warships Legends. Uh
I I have World of Warships on the PC. I don't know if I can cross-platform it because I think
yeah.
it's only for Xbox, unfortunately.
Yeah, the Legend, I think if I get a PC, I'll get Roto Warships on PC, don't worry. I got
I
you, fam.
haven't I haven't played that in like I don't think since like 2019, I think, or 2018. It's been a long time.
Okay, boomer.
What? Okay, okay. I don't want to hear it, Mister.
Whatever
Just
you
because I
say,
haven't.
boomer. Okay, okay,
Whoa.
boomer. Whatever you say,
Oh
boomer.
my gosh. Oh my god. Listen. Just because I haven't played your favorite game in a few years, that's like what, only 6? That's not that long ago.
I'm not gonna lie, I play like Azure Lane 2 and there's a couple evers I played. Like gotcha games.
All
Yeah.
right. No, so I've been sticking with like TF2, War Thunder, and I think there's one. Oh, I just started playing War Thunder VR. And that's a trip. It actually feels like I wouldn't say it feels like you're in the plane, like truly, but okay, it kind of does. It's really cool because you're actually like looking around. And it's like holy crap, and you get into a fight and you're just like staring up at the ceiling, but at the same time you're staring up at a plane. And actually, when
Ooh.
you get a kill, it's just like, oh, this is pretty cool. Then you get clapped by the other like 3 planes that were following you that you didn't see since you're no longer in third person.
So Chris Random just let me know something. if you're interested.
Okay.
Laos
All right.
Legends is on PC. Just the Legends one, not the regular Road Warships.
Mm-hmm.
Is on PC and does cross-platform with console.
That so. Where did I find it?
I think might be on Steam or something. It's Road Warships Legends, not just Road Warships.
Oh, is that the mobile version technically?
I don't think it's the mobile version. The Legends one
I
is
know.
was
World of Tanks has one. I think it's World of Tanks. Oh, no, that's
yeah,
Blitz. I'm thinking
Road
of Blitz. Never
Warships.
mind.
The mobile version's the Blitz one. Because there is Road Warships Blitz, and then they did make Road Warships Legends. They made, I think, cross-platform between PC, mobile, and console. I want to say. Um. So yeah, I want to say it's on PC. Then if he says it,
I'm looking through Steam now. I see the PC version. I have that in my library.
yeah.
All right, I see all the infinite demanding, whatchamacallit, DLCs, but I don't see it there. I'll try looking. You know, I did see it on Microsoft, the
Yeah.
Microsoft store at one point.
Maybe it's there. Maybe it's on the Microsoft Xbox account thing is where it's at. If you got the Xbox account.
I I do. It's just I have to figure out how to operate that.
Yeah, well, whenever you figure out how to operate that rule, I'll get a capture card and roll play. I'm sure Chris Random wouldn't mind being recorded and we're it's on Wargaming. That's where he says
I
it's
can
at.
just try looking up. Yeah, I'll try looking it up then.
Yeah, oh man, no, like Road Warships is fun. Like I like it because just the thing that's funny is like you'll be playing on that game and it'll be like, oh hey, you know, how you doing, buddy? Like just some random players, and you'll be on like a cruiser or destroyer, and then like your two battleship buddy decides to go the opposite direction. The destroyer sails off into the sunset, waving a white flag. And then when you show up to the battle, it's like 5 battleships versus you and a destroyer. And I'm not going to say you can't win against 5 battleships, but try playing 5 battleships against in a destroyer when one of her main guns is enough to sink you.
Well, looks like strategy is going to have to be on your side. A lot of it.
Yes.
That or
Man,
God.
both. That's just yeah.
Yeah.
That is just the truth. It is.
Hmm.
Oh, I can do emojis. What?
You didn't
So
know you could do emojis?
ADHD is hitting me right now. With
Okay.
this. It's the ADHD speaking.
Okay, so I looked it up, and it is not. I can't download it, but it just brings me back to the PC version
Oh,
each time.
maybe the Xbox you can get it for like PC. Because I know you can play Xbox games on PC for the Xbox thing. I don't even know how to operate it, so that's just
I'll click
something
on
you'll
the.
have to
Oh,
figure out.
wait a minute. Oh, I see it. I had to click on the Xbox link on the PC so I can go. So then I hit get. Okay, well, we're gonna see this very quickly. You're about to find out here.
All right. We are in an experience making history here, people. Ignition is in T minus 10.
T minus 212. All right, here. Wonder if there's any big. Oh, well, okay, I got it. The product is now available to you. That's lovely. Can I download it? Install to own this.
All right.
Uh-oh. I clicked on it too many times. Let's see. Install
Okay.
content.
Okay, Boomer. Whatever you say, Boomer.
Okay, buddy. Let's see. install this content on to an Xbox console, then when you're away from your console or Windows 10 device, you'll still get ready to play.
And that's
So,
stupid.
So in other words, I would have to have an Xbox. Then I would be able to get it on my PC. That's what I'm hearing here.
Oh man. It's whatever.
Eh.
Yeah. Whenever I get a PC, we'll play Road to Warships. Or yeah, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So, seeing as Logan wanted to talk about the 2024 election.
Oh boy,
Yeah,
politics. Nothing ever goes wrong when we talk about that.
yeah. That was Logan's like favorite. Like I think he's at work. I want to say.
I mean, to be fair, I don't. Okay, between us, I don't think politics is going to end up, in World War III here, because I think we both know each other's limits on what we're going to go to.
Yeah.
But yeah, politics. That's going to be a segment in 4 quarters.
Well, you know how I feel about presidents thing, and it's no matter who wins, they all suck. That's my
Oh,
opinion.
yeah. I mean, we just
It's
have a bad deck of cards. I mean, both candidates right now are just crispy fried chicken.
well, like even before that, it's like the only time that like a president's been like super good, in my opinion, is when something happened that like they gotta grab the reins and they gotta do this, or else the nation's gonna fall apart. And ever than that, it's like you got Andrew Jackson writing, signing off on the Trail of Tears, stuff like that.
Oh,
It's
yeah, yeah.
or JFK getting assassinated in his limousine.
I mean, hey, one of the most open-minded presidents that we've had, other than Lincoln.
Yeah, and well, and my thing is, because I'm not trying to get like too, because I'm independent. I'm really not Republican or Democrat. I don't want to tick too many people off, but my thing is, there are viewpoints that Trump has brought up that I'm like, you know what, these are good points, and I do agree with you on them. But then the way they want to go about executing them, it's like that's not the right way. Because like a lot of people think these are problems that you can just and it's going to go away. And it's like, unfortunately, that's not how half the problems we have work.
Oh
M-
yeah, yeah. No.
Most of the problems are going to be complex solutions where instead of it being, and this is the problem, and it's not just Republicans or Democrats, it is all of them. Like the majority of people in the office want to throw a band-aid on the problem. It's like this. It's like you
Yeah, just
trip
throw
and
more money at it and then hope it fixes itself.
yeah, it's like you trip and fall on a 9-inch knife, and instead of going to get stitches, you just throw a band-aid on it. And it's like, I'm sorry, but a band-aid's not going to make a 4-inch gap going into your skin heal. And it's like,
But
that's,
hey, it will look good.
yeah, just,
Re-elect me.
yeah, like it looks good. We'll put 2 band-aids on next year.
Yeah, that'll make you feel extra special. And we'll have some camera attention on it so that people know that we actually tried.
Do you want the Scooby-Doo band-aid, or do you want the, uh, Fruity Pebbles band-aid, the Flintstones, or do you want
Uh Spider-Man.
Yeah, I'm seriously thinking it's like how the people in office want us to think like it's like what kind of band did you want? Fireman, fireman, give me fireman. The fire engine goes. Where will the engine take us to? The scene of the crash.
The scene of the crash. Oh
The scene of
boy.
the crash. No, but
East
it's
Palestine?
yeah. No, that's another thing, man. That is, and this is where we're definitely going to come from inexperienced experts. Like, oh man, that is just a bad situation, especially what's happening now. Because like from what I heard, more folks are now suing the people that are victims of
Mm-hmm.
that because they're ticked off at their choo-choo train derailed and that people got sick, and like the EPA is just running alongside them right now.
It's like, bro, they're like, hey, you got sick because of what we did? How dare you?
Well, it's
You know what?
like
We want money from you. Come on, give it up.
it's like this. It's like the EPA is like nothing spilled in the water, and all the townsfolk are pointing at the fishes floating down the river and the deer upturned, and then the
Oh,
EPA
what?
is like,
That's
that's normal.
natural.
That deer's
Yeah, come
napping and those
on.
fish are napping. That's
Yeah,
they're
they're just sleeping, you guys. Come on, they're hibernating all year round. It's a new type of thing to do,
oh,
just after the train.
is the skeleton showing? It's molding. It's turning into a butterfly. Oh, it's going to
Yeah,
sprout some more.
see all the I mean, all the cocoons cracking open and forming new but butterflies. Yeah,
Yeah, that's what's happening. It has nothing to do with that
it
hazardous
also gives you
chemical
lots of
release.
more nutrients if you can get to them before they hatch.
Well, you wanna know what was the best part about that whole situation? So,
What was
like,
that?
and it's like the same thing with like trucks and trains. Like, say you're going to be moving like hazardous material,
Hmm.
you have to like let what like the Department of Transportation know, hey, I'm going to have this on my truck or I'm going to have this on my train. Like, it has to be known because then they'll give you a route because like you cannot take like hazardous materials cannot be taken into urban areas. That's a rule, and that was a
Oh
rule
yeah,
that
because we don't want to completely destroy, have someone accidentally nuke a whole suburban neighborhood and be like,
yeah,
oopsies.
and it's like it's happened before that oopsies, the white fog exploded, but it's like
Not the fog, not the fog.
yeah, and it's but it's like it has happened, and so that became a law of like we're not going to transport hazardous materials. It's a two-sided thing. It's one, what's going to be most common where people are at, and that's like ignition sources. And number
Hmm.
two, what's going to be most common where people are at? People. Like it is a two-sided reason why that is the case. It is not
Hmm.
just but so like you're supposed to say, "Hey, I'm gonna have this," and then that's that way. Say something happens, you have to go through an urban area. That is not like it is because like certain urban areas
Mandatory.
you can go. Yeah, like you cannot detour around. You got to go for that area. Then that way, we know you're going for that area, and we can at least have the departments there pre-notified that hey, this is going to happen. Like this is coming through. Be ready.
Yeah,
That
there might be a small thermonuclear bomb traveling through the neighborhood, guys. But don't worry, we got it handled. But just in case, just look out for any kind of big explosions. I mean, any abnormal thing happening in the neighborhood. If you see a mushroom cloud about the size of like where a small plane flies. I mean, if you see the sun rising at 4 a.m. or like 2 a.m., just tell us. We'll know what it means.
Yeah, and it's like, but it's like that. And it's also like you're supposed to have a ledger. So like say something happens, and it's like you're supposed to have a ledger anyways, but you're supposed to
Mhm.
have a ledger of like this is what all is on my, train or my truck so that when you have an accident, what's going to happen when someone calls 911, the 911 operator, because like normally what happens when these train accidents happen, the company contacts 911, right? And
Mhm.
so then what happens is 911 is going to be like, all right, what is on your train? What is on your truck? What is in your warehouse? What is in your factory? So then that way they can be like, all right, this is something that can explode when it gets hot. Let's send in, a response unit that specializes in hazardous material rescues. Or so that way you can know what is going to be the best personnel for the situation. And that is the reason why that exists is because if we send in a bunch of firefighters that respond to building fires and
Mhm.
we got, I don't know, like a hydrochloride or whatever, burning in there, we don't want to send a bunch of regular firefighters to that. We want people that can respond to that hazardous material that, or like even if we send the regular firefighters, we want to send them in with the equipment to be able to respond to that without being exposed. Like that is just fact. That's common sense. Norfolk Southern did not say anything about it, and then when they were asked what the ledger was, they forgot, air quotes, to put in that chemical that was on the train.
Oops,
So,
guys, listen. I just missed a paper or two or
well,
three, 100. I mean, yeah, just don't worry about it. It wasn't that important.
you wanna know what was even the bigger kicker about those two train cars that had that?
What's that?
Both of them were older train cars with aluminum blow-off valves. So, like, tankers have blow-off valves, so that say
hmm
something happens, it catches on fire. Obviously, we all learned from any class that if you throw a boiling material into a container, it's going to pressurize and eventually blow up. Well, they have blow-off valves to slowly release so much that it doesn't overpressurize and explode. It's better to have a little bit get out than all of it get out, basically, you know? Um,
Yeah, yeah.
and that's why it's there. Well, both of them were train cars that had been obsolete since 1996 and should have been taken off the rails because they had aluminum blow-off valves that when they get hot, they melt. And when the train derailed and the fire started, they melted and would not allow it to
Oh,
blow off. Yeah, so it
jeez.
overpressurized, and that's the whole concern was from that. And then, like, there was no reason to even suspect what they claimed was happening. So it's like, on top of this, there wasn't even a reason to blow them up like they said there was. So they might have just did it. They just did it to get their choo-choo train up and running, basically, is what I'm saying.
Didn't like
Uh,
the brakes. It didn't like the brakes give out too.
so what happened, and this is what I've been told, and I might be incorrect, but what happened was, as it was running, the bearing in that car that caught on fire failed. And when it
hmm
failed, I'm sure what happened is it seized up. So when it seized up, the wheels running. So like think of a bearing as like a bunch of balls inside of a bigger like ball. And so they
hmm
spin around. So that way it's like basically like, a bunch of balls rolling around between two things. It basically does the same job as oil. It keeps both things that are, going in opposite directions from having contact. So in that way,
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
very little friction, very little heat. What happened was is that probably seized up at some point because eventually bearings will go bad. They might break. They seize up. We see it all the time in the automotive field, and that's probably what happened. It was probably an older bearing. It's normal. It's a lifetime thing. Um, and that probably happened while that train was moving. And when that happened, that bearing seizes. The wheel's still spinning, but then that bearing ain't moving, so all that friction heat, and eventually as it gets so hot, that grease that's in there to help lubricate that bearing's going to catch on fire. And I think that's what happened. And then they went by a hot box detector, which you might have seen them. They look like little camera scanners by like the railroad tracks.
hmm
And like when they go through, it like scans the whole train and like so say the train goes through and you get onto the other side and the hot box goes I think it's it'll be like train, uh, track one, uh, yeah, track one, train axle count, we'll say like 600. Critical failure basically means, hey, one of your wheels is like hotter than normal. You need to stop. But it will basically tell you like what's going on that train. So that way they can, as they're going, they can be like, all right, our system picks up this, we're stopping. Well, by the time the engineer got that message, it's a 3 mile long train. He's already way past that hotbox detector, and I think he put in emergency. And when he put it into
hmm
emergency, um, what I was told, because it didn't have the satellite train in the center to help it evenly brake. It just had the locomotives at the front. So when he hit the brakes, you had the front of the train stopping. The rear of the train isn't so much, and the wheel might have came off too. That because when a bearings fail, that can happen. But then at some point, one of those cars catapulted up off the tracks. It got off the tracks, and when you're still going like 40 miles an hour and it gets up off the tracks, it's going to pull everything else off. It's just, because it'll have
Oh
the same
yeah.
thing will happen like a trailer. And that's what I think happened. And then the rest is what happened. And you can't blame the engineer. The only people you can really blame is Norfolk Southern. Norfolk Southern, A, shouldn't have had that stuff on that train in the first place. And B, they should have been letting people know, like, hey, this is what's going through here.
Yeah, but they did a bad job of trying to inform everybody or anybody at all that something was going to happen in the first place, or at least maintain their trains. And then, of course, we end up with, well, a whole neighborhood looking like it's about midday at
Well,
night.
it's like, one thing is people look at our rail, because, like, don't get me wrong, the European railroad is built on blood too. Like the American roads and the European roads are built on blood. And the whole reason why I
Yeah,
say that is
unfortunately.
the reason why stuff is as safe. And the same thing is with the airline industry. The reason why stuff is as safe as it is today is because people died on the stuff that wasn't as safe. And
Oh,
that,
yeah.
and that is why it's called built on blood. You know, that's why I say that. It is a fact. Every industry is built on blood, and it's
I mean, but that's like 90% of the aviation industry.
yeah,
You know, after a plane goes down, it's like, oh crap, we should probably put something in line to stop that from happening.
yeah, and but that's just it's a fact of life.
Mhm.
But it's like the Europeans have they don't have as many lobbyists running around saying, "Hey, we want to run this cheaper. We want to run this cheaper." And then you also got the fact that you got the government subsidizing the railroads. So, you know, and the thing too is Europeans value public transportation. We don't as much.
Yeah, no.
We're
But at
more
the
of a
same
car
time,
guy.
the only issue is with that is that they don't have as much space to cover though. Like, I
Yeah,
mean, sure they could get but if you go to England and you like drive 2 hours from like the
yeah.
center, you're gonna be at a coast or something, or into already heading into like a different country. And so
Well,
like when you go through America, unfortunately, yeah, it's car dependent. But then, I mean, do you really want to take a bus all the way from like Houston,
yeah.
Texas, even to like Phoenix, Arizona, and be like,
Well,
oh crap?
and the other thing is like I know Europe has probably their own ghettos and all that, like we do. And when by ghetto, I mean like rough area where you got a bunch of people and drugs running around.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, but the fact of the matter is unlike here in Europe, you got a police officer on like every street corner that's just standing there to like help people or like make sure nothing's going on. And we have a police shortage here in the States. And it's like do you really want to be in a bus in a neighborhood where someone might take all your money to go buy, some drugs later on? It's like no. And I think that's part of it. But like it's uh starting to get better here because like we have bought high speed trains from France, though I think the main problem with those was they were catching on fire. So we
I
had to
mean
send them
that,
all
and also
back.
we don't really. I mean that, and we just don't really have the rail infrastructure like they do. I mean,
Yeah.
like half our tracks are outdated.
Well, like half our tracks are from like, the 50s, 70s. And the thing is like we also evolved in different ways than Europe. Europe evolved for high speed rail. We
Yeah,
evolved for, high speed passenger rail. We evolved for or big, heavy cargo trains. And, I think that's the thing is like America used to have trains that went all over the nation and all that. And the thing
yeah,
is when the car came out, like you got to think about it, like when the train was big in America, if you wanted to get from New York to San Francisco, half the roads weren't even paved, and if you were lucky, they were gravel. And if you
yeah.
were even more lucky, it was an actual road. Like most of them were just trails that are created from people driving their Model Ts through and whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I'm about to say when the train was introduced, that's when they had to start introducing time zones because you really couldn't travel fast enough to where it didn't really matter.
Yeah, and
Obviously, it existed before, but when the train came in, it was just like, oh yeah, oh crap, yeah. You know what? We can actually switch time zones like within a few hours versus a few days.
Well, like the first record for traveling from New York to San Francisco, so sea to shining sea, was set like in like I think the 20s, and it was literally like a couple weeks it took them to get from one side of the state to the other. And I mean, you think about it now, you could do that in a car in like at most 4 days, maybe 2 days, if you like took turns driving. Like,
Yeah,
it is, and it's like,
just just do the cannonball run.
yeah. No, well, and that's actually what inspired the Cannonball Run. But it's like in the 50s, they were selling mods where they would take your car, like if you had like a truck, and they'd slice the frame in two, right? And they'd
Hmm.
put a pin in the center of the frame so that the cab could twist one way and the bed could twist the other way. Because some roads, again, weren't even roads. They were just where people drove their cars at. So it wasn't even like someone came through and said, this is going to be a road. It's just someone drove there. So your cab might be like level on like both tire, but then like your tailgate, your tail section would have one wheel in the air. And also that way they could be better off road. And it was that big that there was a company, a couple companies that actually made their money doing that. And a lot of cars back then also had spotlights because again, no street lights. If you're lucky, it's a gravel road.
Hmm.
Um, like Route 66 was like one of the first roads to connect. Or I think Route 66 and the Lincoln Highway were like one, or no, Lincoln Highway was the first road to connect America east to west coast. And then like Route
Oh, really?
66 was the most, yeah, the Lincoln Highway, which part of the Lincoln Highway is actually I-80 now, believe it or not.
That's
Um,
crazy.
yeah, but that was like the first road to like connect. And then Route 66 became the most famous one. And it's like if you drive across the US routes, which existed way before the interstate system did, um, you'll see all kinds of old hotels, roadside attractions that were there before the interstates because people took these and it took a long time. And like back then, now it's like, even I'm sure back then people are like, we want to get there. But like back then, it was like traveling to your destination. The travel was part of your vacation. The travel wasn't getting to your vacation. That was part of your vacation. So then people are like, you know what? It's going to take us 4 days to get San Francisco. So we might as well enjoy our way to San Francisco.
Oh
You
yeah, and
know,
that's when we get all like the pictures of standing next to like road signs and all the stuff like that, where it's like, oh
yeah.
yeah, we stopped to see all these different things because that was like you said, it's part of the vacation, then also just becomes part of the experience.
Well, it's like when I was a kid, I remember counting license plates being like a fun game to do. Like looking out and being like, oh, that one's from Nebraska or that one's from, like that
Oh,
was,
we would do punch buggy.
oh yeah, that too. But but it's like you did that kind of stuff. And it's like in the 1950s, it took you 4 days if you're lucky to get or not 1950, like 1940s, it took you 4 days to get to your destination vacation. Your vacation was part of the trip. That was just going to be it. So, and the whole reason why the interstate even exists was Dwight D. Eisenhower. He was a soldier in World War One. He had went over to Germany, and one of the things he's seen over in Germany, being in World War One, and I think he might have served World War Two, but one of the things he's seen in World War One was the Autobahn, and for
Hmm.
back then, and it was like they had these concrete roads that went all over Germany. The Germans, it might have been World War Two actually. He's seen it, but the Germans were able to transport their goods wherever they needed, quick and fast with the Autobahn, and it was like he got to thinking like America, we don't have that if we have to ship something to San Francisco from New York for like weapons to defend us, it's going to be loaded up on a ship, drove down to the Guadalcanal, going across, below Mexico, go across all the way, and then go back up to San Francisco. He's like, that's an awful long way. And so he came up with the idea for the interstate system. And the whole reason why it was air travel wasn't exactly a thing yet. Like bombers
Yeah,
existed,
no.
but you weren't loading huge amounts of cargo like
Onto a plane.
into a plane. Like you weren't doing that yet. It wasn't until like after World War II that that became a big thing that we started realizing like, yeah, this actually works really good. And again too, you got trains and trains were super efficient, but what if someone takes out the railroad? And that's the whole reason why the interstate system was formed was if someone takes out a railroad, we got 20 roads that people can take, and someone takes out one of those, there's 19 more. you know?
Oh yeah, yeah.
And that's why it became big. And yeah, again, inexperienced experts here, so.
You can legally not quote us on anything that we say.
Yeah, no, do not take this and use it. I doubt anyone's gonna listen to us hardly. Like I'm pretty sure like after this turns into a video, it's probably gonna only have like 10 views and we'll stay it there. But
I don't
for
know. You never know. YouTube might do that weird thing where they'll be like, ah, yes, hello, random YouTuber. Have you heard of this channel called Alpha AI? It's like, huh, only has 10 views. You know what? We'll
well,
watch it, and then
you couldn't even find my channel when you look up Alpha AI, like a million ever channels pop up.
But no.
Alpha
Like,
AI.
listen. Hear me out. Like, you know when you're like just scrolling through like your YouTube recommended page,
Oh
and then
yeah,
like
no.
all of a sudden you see like that one video that's like has like 30 views on it, and it's like, oh, yeah, it's like someone's like first 2 or 3 YouTube videos. You're like, oh, that's cool. That's what's gonna happen here. Then you never know. We could also end up being like a topic, a hot topic on the internet for some reason. Hopefully not for the wrong reason.
Is there ever a good reason to be on the topic on the internet?
That's a great question. Just in case they say something like that. I said nothing controversial until I did. I don't know. I'm just gonna be sitting here listening to that. It's like, so we got these two guys here who thought it would be funny to run a podcast. Now this would be harmless until we figured out that someone in the podcast decided to take a plane and do something with it. It's like, uh-oh.
Oh
Uh-oh.
man. Oh man. Oh no. Oh no.
That
Oh
aged like milk.
yeah.
Let's hope I
No.
don't have to say that. Oh, what about
Uh,
that truck? Remember that truck driver who did that thing? Well, it turns out they have a podcast. Oh boy.
man. Well, there was actually an incident. I think 2019 or 2020. Someone took a uh a truck and drove it into the Department of Transportation like building in Texas because he
Hmm.
got ticked off at something.
Oh,
Uh, yeah, like, and I mean, like, full on big rig. I don't even know if it was his big rig or like one he stole. I can't remember. I just remember reading someone drove a big rig into the Department of Transportation office over some stupid reason.
that sounds about right. Was it in Florida?
Texas, actually.
Yeah,
Uh,
I can see them doing that.
yeah, you don't mess with like. Okay, let's be honest here, and uh, like Ohio, Texas, and Florida are like the free people that like whenever it comes to like Florida man are like shaking hands and doing fist bumps. Just a fact of life, and I'm sure there's ever states joining in on that. It's-
Well, I mean, okay, you go down to Florida. Okay, you go down to Florida, and something stupid's just gonna happen. You try to do something down there, someone's gonna pull out an alligator and be like, "Ha! I got you where I want you." You're like, "Where the freak do you keep an alligator at?" Texas, you're just gonna get shot. I mean, like, you don't even have to say much about that. That big iron on your hip ain't doing is not for show.
it's
And then
the
Ohio, we don't know. Ohio they just do their things. You're just gonna end up with a car upside down in the middle of an intersection because someone hit a blade of grass.
they're hitting a blade of grass, looking at the cryptids. That's what's happening. That's that's what's happening. Yeah,
Only in Ohio. We
Texas,
can't we
you're
can't let we can't let people know what's going on in Ohio.
yeah, no, got to keep it a secret, guys. Our
Only
government,
people from Ohio will get it.
our government contract has us keeping up the.
Hey, you can't speak about that on you can't
Oh,
speak about that on stream, dude.
oh, yeah.
We signed an NDA. We talked about the.
Time for me to fly to the moon. Be up at the moon. Oh man, I'm thinking of old memes now. I'm like boomer when it comes to memes. I
I mean,
think
I kind of keep up with them, but I only have like one YouTube channel now that like explains some of them. So I'll just wake up one morning and look at YouTube and then just be like, ah, yes, this meme that just started going around about some drawing, or like I think one of them was like blue circle. Oh yeah, blue circles, and then like a red circle. It's like, okay, I guess we're making red circles now, and that became like a meme for like 10 minutes for some reason.
Oh man. So I was talking to someone about amusement rides and all that.
Yeah.
I love roller coasters. I'm just going to admit it. I love roller coasters.
All right. All right.
I'm an adrenaline donkey. I'm anything that gives me adrenaline I love.
Okay. Time to jump off a building with a bungee cord. Obviously. Jeez.
I don't know if I'm gonna go that far yet. Like I don't even know if I want to go like skydiving.
He said,
Uh
yet there's a possibility, guys.
I don't understand why people jump out of a perfectly good plane. I'll never understand that.
Hey, listen. I don't understand it either, but hey, I'm getting enough money to. You guys go. Bye. It's like,
Well,
listen. I have a point. It's like, okay. I'm not the one
uh,
who's doing it. I'm just flying the plane. Bye.
oh man. What are we
That's
going
just
to do?
funny. Just gets you guys on a plane. It's like, yeah, wow. What happens if someone falls out of the plane? Hey, do you mind just opening your door? Can you make sure it like works? You know, sometimes the hinge on is like this. Like it's kind of hard to. Yeah, just keep it like that. Here, let me help you. Just kind of lean the plane, roll it. What do you do? Hey, just keep it open. You know, keep pushing. There we go. It's open. All right, 90 degrees. What? Is he
So,
gonna be all right? Well, do you want to know what happens when someone drops out of the plane? Well, we're about to find out.
oh, man. So another thing, not to change subject again. I got into space age songs lately.
Oh, and what kind of space age we talking about here?
Like actually ours, it's on YouTube Music, and you might be able to find it if you look for it.
All
It
right.
is an album. It's probably
Okay.
on YouTube. It's called To Touch the Stars.
Who touched this? That sounds like half of a Sonic song's name.
Yeah, it's like
Two,
basically a bunch of space
two,
age songs. Like
who
about
touched the stars? Is it a album with a guy on the front of it in like a spacesuit?
yep, that's it with the red trim.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. I got into that album. Like my favorite song has to be Fire in the Sky. I just love that. I hey,
Fire and
when I was a kid, I was very big into the space age and all that and rockets. Like my job I wanted to be as a kid was astronaut.
hmm.
So yeah, like I was like I wanted to be an astronaut as a kid. It was like between that or race car driver. Like the normal kid things like race car driver, astronaut.
I think mine was always kind of like pilot, but I had a couple of odd ones in there. Like every time I'd say it's like, "What do you want to be?" I want to be like, firefighter. But then I also was like, "Yeah, I want to be a pizza deliverer or a preacher." And then it was, of course,
Uh,
pilot. So I was like always bouncing between. At one point, I wanted to be a doctor too. I was like, huh. But then I'm like, nah, that's too much. I have to worry about saving people's lives and medicine and ah.
or you could be one of those doctors of deaths that
Oh gosh.
well no like the one I like the one was like a doctor of death in Georgia. I can't think of his name now. I'll think of it later. Papa Meat did a video on him if you watch Papa Meat. Um
No, I do not.
I'll send you a link to the video later after we get done because I'm probably gonna end the podcast in like another 20 minutes.
Okay.
But I think we did a pretty good first episode.
Oh yeah, about to say we're already about just 1 hour and 40 minutes here, or
Yeah.
just about over an hour and 40 minutes in. So
I haven't even looked to see how long, but yeah.
yeah, I'm just kind of going based off the YouTube minute thing. I can see it right at the bottom of the subscribe button.
I think a good 2 hours is a good first podcast.
Fair play, fair play.
Maybe I can try to record some stuff and make a trailer to be like, YouTube algorithm, work for me. Oh man. Now the probably also doesn't help on losing my voice today, so
Don't lose your voice.
oh man, I gotta look in the lost and found.
Oh no. Yeah, you gotta look in the lost and found, see it's there.
Yeah, is it here there? Oh, is it there? No. Oh man. But yeah. Oh, wait, I sent him the wrong thing. But yeah, no. What the heck was I even talking about again?
Uh-huh. Yes.
I
You were
see.
talking about actually I kind of lost track because you're like, I know you're talking about your voice, and then before that it was the YouTube algorithm. Yeah, you wanted to make like a video. You were also talking about giving me like $20, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I'll give you $20. Just you mind standing over by the exit door of the plane there?
Yeah.
Pull that lever. $20 will dispense out of the slot.
Oh no way! Let me just.
It's going to happen. Just
Just
it'll
do
be
that.
fine. It'll be fine. You know, I'm probably one of the only people like this, but I don't know about you, but I can actually like rewatch our own videos and be happy about it. I'm like actually like entertained by it.
I could kind of do it. I just okay. I can do it, just not intentionally. So if I get bored, because I still have that video where we play Mario Party on that tropical island back in like 2022 or one, or no, not one. I think it was whichever one. That's when I was editing. So whenever Todd was like, or whatever, well, yeah, whenever he's like, Bub was like, "Yo, can you edit this video?" I still have that on my old laptop. And every time I get bored, I would just go, I would be searching my laptop, and then I'll just see the video. I'd be like, "Oh yeah, I was supposed to edit that." Then I start watching, and I'm like, "This is actually pretty funny."
Was that the one that we
This-
were going, Scott Sterling?
yeah, I think it was.
Scott Sterling.
I had to go look back
I
and
think
check
that was
too.
like the day I showed you guys the Scott Sterling video, the guy getting hit in the face with the soccer. Oh man, that's funny.
Was that the same night we also found out about that long man candy? Or was that a different
Oh
night?
no. That was when we did the get together to do the collab for New Year's, I think like last year. We like
Really?
remember we started off like out we are like, oh, let's watch some funny videos, and we watched like the funny videos, and then I was like, hey, Bub, look up 90s commercials that did not age well. And so he
Oh
looked it up.
yeah, and
Yeah,
somehow we ended up watching the whole saga.
and then rewatched the whole thing, and then it went to like old school commercials, like not even like funny commercials occurred, just old school commercials. And then from that, it went to the Japanese commercials. We watched that one, and then like the long man. Oh man, that was the funniest commercial I ever seen. That long man. Oh,
It was
I'm
just
like,
so unexpected. We were intentionally trying to go there, and it was just like, oh, like, oh my gosh,
hey,
what?
that wasn't a commercial. That was a whole on TV drama, and that really makes me sad. And I'll tell you why that makes me sad. Because I wish more advertising companies here in America did stuff like that.
I mean,
Still,
we kind of have that just with ads, you know, like the what that gardening game that was going around with the longest time with like the grandma and like the ginger-headed
yeah.
girl, and it
Oh
was
yeah,
just like the most.
Gardenscapes or
It's
whatever.
like yeah, and it'd be like, ah, yes, here I'm raking this old mansion. Wait, why are there so many shovels here? Why is my grandma looking at me like that? Yo, what? And then like the next one will be like, ah yes, looks behind the shovels. What, a knife with a key on it? Oh no, she's not innocent. My boyfriend is breaking up with me. Oh yes, by the way, play this happy gardening saving game.
Oh man.
Oh, okay, that hurt.
Let's see. What was this one?
I don't think that's a moo.
Where's the moo? What's the moo do?
Oh, you. It's still. I'm still watching you. I'm still watching it on the stream, and there's still like a 20-second delay or something like that. So I'm like, oh yeah, moo. In reality, you're like way ahead of that.
Let's see what the. Man.
Ouch. You're gonna have, if you edit that video, you're gonna have to put a sound warning in there.
Yeah, this ain't getting editing. Oh man, I'm fighting. These are from like all the servers I'm in.
Oh, so you have Discord Nitro?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. So you get all like the special sound effects and stuff.
Yes. Oh man, I just some of these I'm like I don't even.
Daddy, chill.
Oh man, what is this? I don't even know. Like that's why I'm like I'm gonna have to figure out what half of these are. Uh, okay,
Was that a drum?
that was a snare drum. Oh, what the...
Dang.
Oh, let's see. What is this one? Okay, that's trash. Try that.
Symbolize. Oh my gosh, no. Not the Samsung ringtone.
Um, that was wet, man. That was wet.
Okay, buddy.
Oh man. Oh, chibi chibi.
Chibi chaka.
Oh man. Let's see. And then yeah,
Hmm.
there's so many. So many. No. Trying to do stuff.
You have 38 subscribers?
I have 38 what?
You have 38 subscribers.
Yeah, and those I'm not gonna go into how I got 38 subscribers.
You're famous. I know a famous person. I
Yeah.
know a YouTube streamer. Let's go.
Here's
Yeah, boy.
remember that meme?
Yep. Barely.
Oh man, I need to record one of you go girl. Oh man. Discord, you need to get more sounds, man. You need to get more sounds. Like, man, they have.
What was that?
Hostile.
Oh, that actually sounded like you were disconnecting there. I was like, what the crap?
Yeah, I have disconnected. Oh man, how long have we been going?
Uh, an hour and 56 minutes.
All right, I think. What do you think? Good to end it here.
I don't see a reason not to.
Yeah, I'm like we kind of ran out of topics, and I don't even know if Chris Random's still listening. Like he probably is, and we're going to end the stream, and he's going to be like, "Hey, I'm still watching."
He's like, yo, I was being entertained by this.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna call it a night. And
Alrighty, well,
this,
it has been a good time having it with you, mate.
all right, YouTubers. This has been the first episode of the Inexperienced Experts podcast. I cannot speak tonight. Uh, um, maybe next weekend we'll have another episode. I don't know. Try to do something. Maybe it'll just be the two of us again. I don't know.
We'll
Uh,
have to see.
I mean, we had pretty fun, like pretty much fun, and it came out as a good video of just the two of us, anyways. So, like, I'm
Yeah, it's gonna
happy.
be absolutely crazy when we get the rest of them in
Oh
here.
yeah, no, like if this was this good with just us here, it would be even better with like everyone. So, yeah. All right. Well, that is it. Get the heck out of my house. Eh, bye.
No, no.
No, go.
FG.
Leave. Leave.
No,
You're
no,
not. No. You get your hand out of cookie jar. No.
nah.
Put that
I'm
down.
taking it.
Yeah, yeah, that was my grandma's favorite vase.